What was ruined by rich people? The price of housing, either renting or owning, it's insane, worldwide. Concerts. You can't even buy a beer at one for what a general admission ticket used to cost, and people still pay for it. There used to be a really nice big park in the center of the city where I live. Everyone would go there. It was a nice open space. Take your kids, take your dogs, enjoy the fresh air. Then some people from the rich part of town along the edges of the park decided they didn't like the noise coming from the park and pulled some bullshit to buy it out and walled it off so you could not go to the park unless you lived in that specific neighborhood anymore. The worst part is a ton of money was spent when they first bought it building it up, adding fountains and children's play areas and redoing the flower beds. And then no money or attention was given to it again, and the whole place fell into disrepair. So now even if you live in the neighborhood you can't go there because everything is falling apart and overgrown. So the assholes took the really nice park from everyone else, and then neglected it until it became a shithole in the middle of the city. Some of the country's best racetracks have dealt with this similar thing. Track gets built out in the boonies get bought and rich folk move in, complain about track noise, sometimes gets the track shut down. Personally, I believe some sort of it was here first regarding things like parks, and racetracks should exist to stop this from happening. Renting. The overabundance of Airbnbs into $1,000 studio apartments in rural, suburban places is outrageous, and ruining the possibility for low-income and working-class people to have a roof over their heads. I live in New York State, and ever since COVID all these city richies are buying up all the cheap places in the country to try and make a profit, as if they need any more money. Thrift stores. I used to thrift a lot and found it got ruined right when that damn Macklemore song came out. It's like he told everyone a secret. I used to be able to go thrifting and come back with like 3 new work shirts and a pair of pants for like $15. Good clothes too, some with the tag still on it. After that damn song, good luck finding my size at all. The clothes that were left were all shit, and they want $10 for a shirt now. Another thing that contributed to this was thrift stores and places like Goodwill doing their own auction sites. So now they take all the high-value items and auction them off. This makes it pretty much impossible to find a gem on the shelf anymore. Clothing brands. Carhartt, Dickies, Levi's and many more. Like, why did a Dickies shirt go from $15 to almost $40 in a few years? Dickies used to be the clothes of a working man out here in rural America. Now, they are too expensive for the working man to afford. Old school ski mountains with family vibes, and stoner lifties rocking to music. We always watch those silly ski patrol movies about the big corporations coming in and making them yuppieville, and then it happened. New people bought the local mountain and they were desperately trying to find guys to work there. Lots of people were interested until they found out there was a mandatory drug test. Imagine drug testing your ski bums in a legal state. Something tells me that policy is gone next year. I stopped going to professional sports because I can only afford shitty seats. Not worth the effort anymore. For a fun day out with you and a friend at an NFL game will run you around $500. Or you could watch it on your big screen TV at home, which has better play-by-play and angles than being at the game where you end up watching half of it on a monitor anyway. Unless I get tickets for free, I don't even bother going to sporting events anymore. Theme parks. Gone are the days when everyone was equal and you all had to queue, regardless of your income. And even until recently some theme parks gave fast passes periodically throughout the day. Now if you have got deep pockets you can queue jump, making your day a little better and everyone else's a little worse. I have not been to Disney since 2015 when they still had the free fast passes. My mom went earlier this year and I could not believe it when she told me how bad the system is now. Plus everything theme park related post-pandemic has been so crowded you can't even move. I wonder if it will ever be the same as before. Probably not though. Collecting. In the past few years the price of little collectibles and things of that sort have gone insanely high. Cards, action figures, you name it. Just look up any sub for a hobby and you will see people dropping your entire salary in one day. Lego. I kind of collect it, but I know I will never own all of the figures and sets I would like, because they are locked away behind such insane amounts of money. Instagram. When it first launched, we were content to post grainy pics of our average-looking sandwich that we made ourselves, or a mundane selfie. The background and the angle didn't matter. Studies show that since the wealthy started sharing their lives on IG, our collective standard of living changed, and it's trickled down to our influencers mimicking wealth down to average users. We are exposed to yacht parties, expertly organized and color-coded walk-in closets, high-end facials and party-planned gender reveals. We are benchmarking our posts with professional photographers and videographers, elevating our expectations for everything. Edit, for those saying, just don't use it. It's influenced every aspect of society whether you are on it or not. Collectively, society aspires to a fleshier existence. Instagram has inspired new aesthetic-forward businesses like restaurants and coffee shops, tourism, home decor and types of homes, gyms and gym bodies, fashion. I used to scroll Facebook for 30-60 minutes once a day while watching TV. Then they started ramping up the totally not ad-suggested posts more and more over time. Now I am on their 5 minutes tops over the course of a few days, because people I actually know never show up on my feed. I just get in, check for event invitations, and get out. Music festivals used to be a bunch of hippies having a good time and doing drugs. Now it's rich kids taking selfies dressed as hippies and doing drugs. The standard of living for everyone else. Montessori schools. The method was created to be able to teach poor orphans well despite little funding. Now it's some sort of elite schooling for 20,000s plus a year. Once the rich find out about anything good, they rack it for the rest of us. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, internet environment. Internet was the one I was going to go with. Back when the internet was just losers who had no other place in society, everything was cool. You knew the only people online were people who genuinely wanted to be part of the community and subculture. Then the rich people found out about it. And now it's nothing but ads, subscriptions, fees, data gathering, and rich people pretending to be hip. Any hobby where there's potential profit, now you have got dickheads like the Logan Paul ruining Pokemon cards. Not because they are into them, because they like Pokemon, but because they read the stories about the rare cards, and just hammered their endless piles of cash into getting everything. Same with those asshole sheiks with massive comic book collections. They don't give a fuck about comics. They just collect popular valuable stuff. Cheap foods, like chicharrones or tutano. I am from Mexico. When I was a kid, tutano was something that were even gift in meat's market. Now they sell you a damn bone in meat price or even higher. The same with chicharrón, that was really cheap to buy, but with rich people discovering how good it is, now is impossible. All places up the prices because rich people buy it at high rates, and don't know what the heck they are shopping anyway. 80s and 90s cars. The market is super hot right now and all the rich guys are buying them up. Sorta like 50s and 60s cars in the 90s. This seems to be the norm once cars reach around 25 to 30 years old. People that grew up with these cars are now in their 40s and can afford to pay for them. Edit, okay, obviously the car has to be desirable or somewhat rare for this to hold true. Can't just buy an early 2000s Corolla and expect it to be worth big in 20 years. Unless it's a Toyota Corolla Matrix ZS. These cars are hidden gems and might be worth something in the future, trust. Everything really. Mofos have more money than common sense and jack up the prices for the rest of us. The middle class. They absolutely bodied the middle class. I wonder if I will ever get to live the 20s that people always recommend, where you get to travel and do the shit you want to do. Well, now, I wonder if I will ever own my own place, or if I will be stuck at home for most my life. Food trucks used to be a way to get good food for cheap. Now it's a premium without any of the advantages of a restaurant. Not to mention that they all expect a 20% tip for handing you food from a window. My hometown. A lot of the long-time locals here are working class and it used to have a bigger sense of community. In the recent decade, rich people have decided that it's a cute small town with pretty scenery to buy a second home to rent out to other rich people who want to visit. Many of the long-time residents here are struggling to find homes. Meanwhile, rich people who just discovered this small town can easily buy a home or rent an overpriced Airbnb. Literally disgusting here now. Bourbon. It used to be the most expensive bourbon you could find was like $100. Now, with everyone collecting, the prices have skyrocketed. The secondary market is completely insane. Housing flipping for sure, looking to potentially buy at the moment, and everything has been fitted with new gray kitchens and modern lighting etc., which isn't my style. I may be in the minority here, but means paying way more for a house and then having the job of ripping everything out. Colorado. Why is everyone saying Colorado? Can someone explain this for the international crowd? Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, all of them. Rich people see land, water, or places that they can get a lot for a little and buy it up. Price everyone out, and then locals no longer can afford to be there or want to be there since most of them are insufferable. It's such a shame what state the world is in that respect. I rented a two-bedroom duplex in a Denver suburb for $1,100 per month in 2011. Bought my house for $227,000 in 2012. Hence the $227 in my username. Now it's estimated for over $500,000. Can't believe how lucky I was to rent and buy when I did. I don't deserve a house more than anyone else, and yet I got to experience cheap rent to save for a down payment and then a cheap house price. Insane. People's life experiences are completely different now, and that was just a decade ago. So many things, but I will say trucks. Once upon a time, a humble working class vehicle for people who need to be able to do things themselves. Now they are all luxury vehicles with massive margins, unaffordable to anyone who needs them to do real work. Thailand. It used to be a backpacker's paradise. You used to be able to stay in huts on the beach and eat in local family-run restaurants, all taken over by 5-star spa resort hotels. International chains and businesses moved in. It's also very hard for the locals here in Thailand. We don't have effective law against monopolies. Only a few rich cooperates own most of the country's businesses and drove the locals out of theirs. The government also just enacted a new law where foreigners can actually own lands and properties if they pay up. Chinese billionaires are swooping up everything they can. The easy answer, everything. The harder answer, interclass solidarity and quality of life. They have worked so hard to separate the have-nots into their own little groups. We are too busy fighting each other instead of taking the fight, politically speaking, to the rich and the 1%. You have more in common with your fellow man than you ever will with a Bill Gates or Elon Musk. Edit. Thanks for the awards. Holy hell, glad my highest post is about something important. The middle-class family's ability to live comfortably on a single wage. The middle-class family's ability to live comfortably on 2 wages. I started living on my own in 2015. I used to be able to feed myself for $60 per month while renting an apartment for $650 per month. Then I take a step up, get a job that's paying a little more an hour, and I think I'ma be okay, maybe set some money to the side and be able to buy a house one day. But then there is a shortage of this and that, and suddenly my pay increase is being eaten by those things. Rinse and repeat. Now in 2022 I am renting a home with my husband for $1,800 per month, the going rate in our area, and groceries for about $300 per month. Hockey. The equipment is now super expensive, and ice time fees are becoming exorbitant. This isn't even getting into levels of play. If you want to have a shot at the NHL, then your family better be able to fork over $20,000-$30,000 for a prep schools or the like. Because Tier 1 junior teams and Major Junior, which are the leagues that the NHL scouts, only select from leagues. It's still better than some things, like fucking cheerleading. They have an outfit and don't have to pay for ice, yet one kid's cheerleading is more expensive for the year than my other's hockey. Does not help that the stupid cheerleading moms coaches want to do every goddamned thing to spend money. Catered dinners, events with different outfits, even stupid priced shoes. It's what happens when someone who was popular in HS never lets go. Lobsters used to be a cheap food from the sea. Now we have got $30 for pound lobster. I just want some cheap lobster, rich people. My buddy lives in Nova Scotia, where he sent me a pic of $4 lobster a few years back. The envy. My uncle would tell tales about how lobster was literally prison food anytime we went out to eat, and it was on the menu. Can you believe this? Time was. They would feed us this shit in lockup. Now it's $20. Thanks for watching. Share your opinion in the comments. Please support the channel by liking and subscribing. It will help a lot.